Hi everyone, welcome to Prevention Education, the podcast that teaches you everything about prevention. Thanks for listening, and let's get started. Hi everyone, welcome back to another Prevention Education episode. As always, I am your host, Kylie, and I'm here with Christy today. So Christy, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Christy. I am a S.P.I.R.I.T resource prevention specialist. And I go into schools and I teach drug prevention curriculum to kindergarten through 8th graders. I'm just finishing my first school year. So pretty exciting.
Yeah, we have been so lucky to have Christy on our team. She's making a huge difference in the community. So we really appreciate your job and your role on our team.
Thank you.
Yes. So today, we're going to start with our get to know you question. And our get to know you question today is, if you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be?
I don't know where I would want to live. One place I'd like to visit, I've always wanted to visit New York during the holiday season.
Okay. Yes.
Do the whole Christmas in New York thing.
Yeah, that would be really fun. I've been in New York once and I was in 6th grade, so it was kind of scary, but I'm sure it's not as scary as I thought it was. I was just very intimidated because I was with a bunch of other 6th graders. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think that would be fun. If I could live anywhere, I think I would probably choose Oregon or Washington. I've never been. I've been almost everywhere else in the United States, but not the Northwest. And I'm a very outdoorsy person. I love just scenery outside. And from what I see, it's really gorgeous up there. So
Rains a lot, I've heard.
yeah, that's the thing that I don't like. But I think I could push through if I have a gorgeous view. I think I
Right.
could push through that.
I would definitely go north, probably.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't
It's
want to
just so
go
pretty.
anywhere hotter,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. At least we have a nice sweet spot in Missouri. We get hotness. We get all 4 seasons, which is nice.
yeah, it is.
Yes. Well, we will go ahead and get into our topic. And our topic today is just about communities and how unique the communities are that we work with. And like Christy said, she works in a lot of different schools with a lot of different individuals, and every school she works with, I'm sure, is very unique in who they are, what they do, and their needs. And so, um, yeah, with getting into that topic, I guess what you mentioned just previously, that your favorite thing about your job is going to the different communities and meeting a bunch of different kids. Just kind of from your thoughts, what has been your favorite experience in those communities so far?
I would say probably just getting to know people and being welcomed into the community.
Yeah.
Some people have been, extremely outgoing from the start and pleasant. And then there have been some, where you have to work at getting to know them. And I'm a sociology geek.
I am too.
I don't really care about, how the human brain works for yourself, but I love, I'm a people watcher and I like to, see the interactions with people. So it's interesting to see the different personalities and how they interact. And like I said, how it is that each person gets to know you.
Yeah.
There have been some schools that I've been in where everyone is very pleasant just from the get-go, and you can tell they appreciate the service for what it is, you know, the drug prevention program. And there's also some schools where it's a mixture of both, where you can tell some really appreciate it and some just want to I don't know, I guess I shouldn't say want, but some just look at it as, you know, just one more thing they have to add in.
Yeah.
Which I don't say that in a bad way, because there are a lot of things that teachers have to try to get into their daily schedule. And so our program is just one more, you know, and you can tell that some of them find it an inconvenience, but then there are some who really are very appreciative.
Yeah. I think it's easy to initially maybe get a program and kind of see it as a burden, but once you start diving into the programs that you guys offer, they really do make a difference in the kids' lives, and they're all worth it. And I know
Right.
that teachers have a lot on their hands, counselors have a lot on their hands, but maybe adding, not maybe, it's been proven, it's all evidence-based that adding this curriculum really helps the kids and can really decrease behaviors, which makes teachers and counselors' jobs a lot harder when there's more behaviors going on. And so just kind of initially, like I get the kind of pushback of don't want to, but once you see the benefits and how amazing it is to the youth in your community, it's nearly impossible to say no. If you have the
Right.
means to do it and if you're having the people come to your school, it's a really fantastic opportunity that those students get to take advantage of.
Well, absolutely. And I am finishing up with one school right now, and at the meeting I was at previously, just a few minutes ago, I mentioned it's bittersweet, you know,
Mhm.
to be done with a school and successfully have gone through a school year. And this was a school that I was at all year.
Okay.
Um, because they did an AB schedule. So every other week there were two sets of kids and I did every other week. I'm looking forward to a break, but at the same time, you know, you build relationships with those kids. And again, some are going to really like you and you're going to really like some. And then there's some who, you know, you're not going to get along with. That's just how life is.
Yeah.
But coming to the end is not only rewarding because you've accomplished something, but also because, you know, the fact that you are going to be done and not see the kids, you see how, you know, how they have been affected by you, because there are some who, you know, are upset, which I don't want kids to be upset.
Yeah.
But it is a good feeling, you know, to know that some of them are going to be sad.
Yeah.
And will miss the time that we spent together. And then there's some of them who are, you know, probably going to say, don't let the door hit you on the way out.
Yeah.
But, you know, and it's the same with me. You know, there's a lot to get done this summer, but I'm already looking forward to going back,
Yeah.
you know?
Are almost all of the schools that you go to, are they all year? Like a year
No,
long? Okay.
no. I started the school year with 4 schools, and 2 of those were every week. And there were 2 of us going. So I did one grade and I did a different lesson, of course, every week for 10 weeks and got done before Christmas.
Okay.
Whereas the other two schools are, for example, the school that I'm finishing up right now, 14 classes. So I would see one group of 7 classes one Friday. I would see the next 7 classes the next week. And then I would see the first set and then the second set. So even though it's only a 10-week program, I'm doing 2. So, and then you've got to consider, special assemblies and
Days off too.
days off. Exactly. Thanks.
Yeah.
So, you just have to keep plugging along, I guess.
Yeah. Very true. Okay, that makes sense then. I've never really known how that works, so it's cool to know how it works now.
And actually, right now we're trying to get another school finished or get them through the program. So there's actually 3 of us who have worked into our schedule where, like, I taught one group of kids the first lesson, somebody else taught them the second lesson, then I taught them the fourth lesson.
Okay.
And so, but in order to get that program and that resource to them, we have had to do that where, it's a lot easier to do it by yourself.
Yeah.
It's easier to organize, a lot less confusing, but, to get the resource to these kids, we're taking turns doing lessons so that we can get it to them,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You guys are able to be very flexible with it. I mean, not like really, really flexible, but you're able to kind of rely on each other in order to get them what they need, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure the school really appreciates it as well as the students. They might not appreciate it in the moment, but I'm sure once because with kids, they hear stuff and maybe half of them might latch on to a few words you say, and the other half might not even think about it for a week, but
Right.
it might come into their mind at some point.
Yeah.
So just knowing that even though they have to be there and they might not want to be there, they're still taking in what you're saying one way or another, whether they know it or not.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you
Yeah.
have a favorite like memory, or is there ever something that a kid has said that kind of makes you laugh or you think about every now and then? I'm sure there's
Oh,
probably a
gee.
lot.
The, there's a lot, yes, especially with the younger kids.
Yeah.
Um, first and second graders tend not to have a filter.
Yeah.
And, um, and kindergartners, yeah, but they're like that, but they are not nearly as, their brains aren't as quick, I guess,
Yeah.
as far as I did have one of them tell me though, it was, I finished a kindergarten class before Christmas. And this semester, I'm teaching first and second grade at that school.
Okay.
And it's just those 3 grades. And so I see the kindergartners still. I saw one of them in the hallway because they were lining up to go to their classroom or something. And she ran from the line and gave me a hug. And later on, I stopped by the classroom to say hi. And she ran up to me and said, "Oh, I haven't seen you in forever." I'm like, "I just saw you in the hallway."
She's missed you so much.
Yes, yes. And then, you know, first and second graders, um, sometimes you get a comment that you just can't help but no, you're not supposed to laugh, but you just can't help it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, one of our lessons, we were talking about friendship and what qualities do you want in a friend, you know, and where, you know, I've opened the discussion, you know, letting them talk freely. And this little girl raises her hand and I said, "Yeah, what do you know, what does a good friend do, or what does that mean to you to be a good friend?" And she said, "Someone who holds your hair back while you puke." That's a first grader.
What? Oh, man.
Yeah, I'm like, "What?" I'm like, and it, you know, I'm up there and I'm like, "Yeah, I know I'm not supposed to laugh, but that was pretty funny."
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
there's no filter with that age at
yeah,
all.
yeah. So, and then,
Yes.
you know, and then you've got the um older kids, you know, the sixth, seventh, and eighth. Seventh and eighth are the most challenging for me because I have always worked with younger kids,
Okay.
and so and I'm more equipped to work with younger kids as far as temperament, and you know, just the things that I have one group of students and the girls have figured out that if the boys are aggravating, it really works to their advantage to be nice and to, you know, kind of kiss up, I guess is, you know, what you would call it.
Yeah.
So they kind of sabotage the boys sometimes, you know. Of course, they're eighth graders,
Yeah.
but they have learned, you know, hey, we can make the boys do something, and then we can be the good kids, and
Yeah.
we'll and we're good for the day.
Yeah.
You know.
Kids are
So
kids are so smart. We don't give them enough credit, but they
no, we do
know what
not.
they're doing.
We do not at all.
Yeah, they're amazing. They really are.
Yes, they are, and they have very big hearts,
They do.
even
Yes,
if they don't show it.
exactly.
We've been one of my students had been about 7 weeks ago had an accident and um, was hurt extremely badly,
Mm.
and the community uh, has rallied around him and his family, but the kids, his his friends, and his whole eighth grade class, you know, I've seen these kids since the beginning of the school year, you know, and to see how they have matured through this,
Mm.
you know, they're um, organizing fundraisers and volunteering to do things, you know, that inconvenience them because one of their own is in need, you know.
Yeah.
It's really neat to see.
Yeah. Kids are truthfully the greatest blessings. They are so fun when they need to be, but they're also really serious and really caring and really loving when they need to be.
Mm-hmm.
And just as adults, sometimes, we're not in the mood to be around others or we're moody. Yeah, kids have the right to be that way too. And I think a lot of people have the perception that um, kids are always moody. They don't know what they're doing. They're not smart. But they are brilliant, they are loving, they are caring. They might not how to show their emotions yet. There might be just a lot of emotions going on because 'cause they're going through what every single one of us have gone through. And so
Well,
it's
and
really. Oh,
I
go
think
ahead, go ahead.
unfortunately the just the state of the world, everything, whether it's, you know, you're stressed out, you're in a hurry, um, or there's someone that's mean to you all the time, just all of the things that happen in life, I think is a real disservice to kids because they start out the most loving, caring, you know, um, but they grow up to be adults who really aren't like that, a lot of them.
Mm, yeah,
And it's because, you know, it's, I don't want to say beat out of them, but that's almost, that's the
yeah,
world takes it out of them.
yeah, very true, and I think it's normal, for people to say, like, as you grow up, you mature, you lose that funness, you get more boring. But in reality, that doesn't have to happen. You can still be
That's
a kid
right.
at heart your entire life. You can still have fun. You just might have to pay the bills. Like
Right.
you gotta be responsible, but life isn't made to just be too serious all the time. You're supposed to enjoy
Right.
it. You're supposed to have fun. But I
Well,
completely get what you're saying. Yeah.
and I enjoy, that's what, one of the things about working with kids that I like is, you know, if I want to wear a big frilly bow in my hair for, Valentine's Day or another holiday, or if I want to dress up, you know, um, there, like the meme on Facebook that it's a picture of Glinda the Good Witch and it says, dress for the job that you want.
Mhm.
Have you seen that? You
Yes.
know, you can do that kind of thing with them. And of course, the older kids are going to be like, okay, this is weird,
Yeah.
but the little kids are really going to eat it up. You know,
Yeah. Oh,
I
yeah.
wore,
They're like your number 1 supporters.
yeah,
They're the best.
exactly.
Yeah.
You know, and I have had a lot of back problems recent, just this past year. And, you know, I have had to use a walker part of the time. And I have had kids of all ages from kindergarten to, eighth grade hold the door open for me.
Aw.
I have walked into classrooms with my walker and kids have said, "Oh no, what happened?" Of course you get the my grandma has one of those
Yeah.
comments, but you also, you know, like someone will say, "Oh no, what happened?" It's like, "Well, I hurt my back. I use this so I don't fall down." And as I'm leaving the room, one of them will say, "Well, I hope your back gets better."
Yeah.
Or I go into the classroom and I don't have the walker because I'm doing well with my back. And, third or fourth grade will say, "I see you don't have your walker," you know. Um,
Yeah.
they're just very genuine and um, it's nice to be able to be around them, but then also go home and have me time.
Yes, I
You know,
completely understand. I
the
work with,
best
I
part
work,
about working with kids is you can leave them at work,
yeah,
you
give
know?
them back to mom and dad at the end of the day.
Right, right.
Yeah. Yeah,
Versus that's the,
you get a lot of influence in the little time that you have with them. You get a lot of love and then back home.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
it may be the only, and you can really tell, the kids who really are there for the social emotional
Yeah.
um, versus the intellectual learning,
Yeah.
because there are kids who will come up to you and give you a hug after knowing you for 30 minutes,
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
I've always heard, the best judge of character, kids and dogs.
Yep.
And I think if you I think you've accomplished something if you can do that.
Mhm.
If a kid is comfortable enough with you and can read you and know this is a safe person, you know,
Yes.
it's okay
Yeah.
to let my guard down even for just a second.
Yeah.
You
I think
really
that
have
should
accomplished
be
something.
Yeah, that should be every adult's goal is to be a safe place for kids. Because once they
Exactly.
feel safe, that's one of the best feelings for them, probably. Like, you never know what their home life can be. And so, as long as you're caring for them, even respecting them, they're young, but you still got to respect them. And just showing them that you're there for them and that you care for them is one of the biggest things that you can do for kids, just because you don't know what's going on. They might not have a caring adult at home, but if you can be that one caring adult in their life, that can make a huge difference
Exactly.
in their life.
And I was thinking about this. I know you and I have talked about early childhood
Yeah.
education. You and I have that in common. And I was thinking about that earlier today. I have this drawing behind me. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's a girl. Can you see it?
Yes. Yep,
To
it's right
me,
above your
it's,
head.
oh, yeah, yeah. It is not the most beautiful thing. Um, but I leave it there because I worked in early childhood long enough to know that, you know, if a infant or toddler mainly, gives you something, I've been given countless dried worms off the playground. I've been given sticks. I've been given, wilted flowers or chewed up stuff. You know,
Yeah.
if that, it's a loving gesture to come up and wipe a booger on you. So, and if that's what they have
Mhm.
and they want to give it to you, you know, that is really something also. And
Yeah.
that's why I have this drawing up here, because as it's the person that drew it has talent, just not my taste.
Yeah. That's a good way to
But
put it.
she chose to give it to me,
Mhm.
and I respect that and I appreciate that. So that's why it's on the wall.
Yeah. I think that's a wonderful thing to do. I know I work part-time at the hospital with kiddos, and we'll make some art together, and sometimes they'll be like, "Miss Carly, you can keep it." And that's really big because they can hang it in the room, they can give it to mom or dad if they're in their lives, they can give it to aunt, uncle, cousin, best friend, anyone, but they're choosing to give that to you, and so
Mm-hmm.
I hang it up either in my office or just someplace where I can see it because it means a lot, and they don't kids don't have the money to buy you things or get you food or do any of that. So their way of giving gifts and showing you that they love you is by little presents that they make. And they're really
Right.
proud of those presents too. And so
Right.
displaying them, and they might even ask you down the line, like, "Hey, do you still have my picture?" And if you don't, that can be really heartbreaking for them. I mean, obviously, like, probably don't say, "No, I don't have it," even if or yeah, don't say, "I don't have it," even if you don't have it. I don't know. I think
Yeah.
what I'm trying to it's I'm confusing myself.
Sometimes it's okay to fib a little bit. Yes, I still
Exactly.
have that.
Yeah, because if you got rid of it, that would break their hearts, and so
Yeah.
just holding on to it and showing them, like, "Hey, I love that you created this, and I'm keeping it." Like, "You did awesome. You're a little artist." That would
Right.
mean the world to them.
Yeah. Well, and back to this drawing. This young lady is one of the older students, sixth, seventh, or eighth. I'm not sure. I don't remember which. But she had a scowl on her face the first several times I was there.
Mm,
And it was obvious that it was just, this is someone who's not going to open up because, you know, she's
yeah,
obviously a guarded person for whatever reasons, you know. And so I was actually very shocked the day that she came up after class and said, "Here, I drew this for you," you know.
yeah, that
So,
is really cool. Yeah. Well, I think this podcast has really helped to show whoever's listening, I think it's really helped to show how much we love our communities, and how wonderful it is to be present in your community and the littlest difference. Even the shortest conversation might make a really big difference in someone's life. And just being positive, trying to think of if there is a burden of additional work, just thinking of how beneficial it can be to the kids in the community and parents and caregivers of all kinds. And um, yeah, I think this just really helped to show how fantastic our communities are. And
yes,
so,
I apologize. I kind of got away from the communities in
oh my
my
goodness, no.
fandom of the kids, but
No, you're good. I love hearing stories about the kids and that the kids are the community, and so you didn't
mhm.
stray at all. It's the kids make that community, they're the future of the community, so
Well, and
I enjoy
those
hearing it.
those schools, that is their community. That's a
Exactly.
very good point, you know. And
Yeah,
the fact that they let you in, you know.
yes, very true.
So,
If you would like to leave our listeners just with kind of one statement, and it can be anything from our conversation today about communities or kids all the way to prevention or really anything, what do you want to leave our listeners with for the last thing that they hear?
um, be the person you needed when you were younger, I
Mm,
think.
yeah. That's a fantastic statement.
Yes. I have just it's just come around. uh I've just been seeing it the last year or so, but I really do believe that's probably um a very good philosophy to live by.
Yeah, I agree. And I've never really heard that before. So thank you for sharing that with me. I think that that kind of motivates me a lot more in my life when I'm interacting with the youth. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, perfect. So today, thank you, listeners. If you guys tuned in, we hope that you can tune into more prevention education episodes. And just thank you for taking the time to listen. And Christy, thank you for taking time out of your day to be here as well. I know I appreciate it. I'm sure our listeners appreciate it as well.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. And all listeners, I hope you guys have a great day, and we will talk to you guys next time. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you guys so much for tuning into our podcast. Remember to follow us on social media at PFH Prevention. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Spotify, and more podcasting platforms. And make sure to email us at moprevention@pfh.org with any questions, and feel free to call us at 660-627-7404. Thanks for joining us, and have a great day.